Wicked Metal Reviews.
Hey.
Alright, so The Dark Below, the first expansion slash DLC of Destiny, dropped on Tuesday, December 9th, the year 2014, according to the Judeo-Christian celestial calendar. And so we're here to review it. It's me, Keith, and Luke, because out of everybody, we're the only people who got it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to talk about everything. First off, let's name off everything that the expansion adds. Expansion, you get 3 story missions, a new vendor in Eris Morn.
New faction in the Bane of Crota.
You get a bunch of new weapons and armor pieces. You get a bunch of these mini quests, 2 strikes if you're a PlayStation member, a new raid, and also 3 multiplayer maps.
Yes.
So we're going to dive into everything. So let's first talk about the story missions. First off, there actually kind of is a story.
Yeah, there actually is somewhat of a story. It explains a little bit more of the background of the Hive and who exactly Crota is and why him waking up is a bad thing.
Yeah.
We don't want him to be Roy Hibbert.
Yeah, and then the other thing that, I mean, they kind of take what people wanted from the stories and they made it better. The first mission's kind of almost in a way your typical Bungie mission fare. I mean, I think you kill the what's he called? The Force of Crota? No, something like that. The Force of Crota,
yeah.
something, I forget his name, something like that. It's a knight, and
It's Blade of Crota first.
No, he has a special name. I'm trying to remember what it is.
Yeah.
But so you do that, and then the second mission deals with Rasputin. You get to find Rasputin, which is pretty cool, and then you get introduced to Omnigul, who is it becomes important later.
Yeah.
And then the very last mission is you go actually to the moon, back down into the summoning pits, I believe, is kind of where it's at.
Yeah, it's down into...
Or is it in the grave, the world's grave? It might be
World's grave, I think.
Yeah, okay, it's the world's grave. It's down there in the moon, and basically you have to you stop Crota's soul from being released, and it's a pretty epic mission. And so, I mean, without trying not to get in too much spoilers, it's a great, interesting, like you said, there's a story. You don't have to defend Dinklebot at all. I believe Eris even makes fun of Dinklebot at one point, saying something along the lines of ghosts, a being made of the Guardian's light, made to open doors. And I just thought that was really funny. Making fun of how Ghost in the main game, you're always defending him.
While he opens the door.
But yeah, I think just in general, that part of this game is better. And then once you beat the game, you get the Murmur, which is a legendary scout rifle, which can switch between arc and solar damage, which is awesome. And then you get a bunch of bonus missions. I'll let you talk about the bonus missions.
The bonus missions are... They're sort of like bounties, but they're called quests. And what you have to do is go through a series of these in order to actually unlock the first strike itself, which actually is kind of cool. They're making you sort of earn your way into doing the strike, which is actually quite a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it just adds something new. Instead of just going, hey, go and kill 10 of these. No, it's adding sort of almost like mission parameters and things like that. It gives you objectives to complete sort of in an order.
Yeah, like the first ones was basically you have to kill just a bunch
Kill
of guys.
Hive with a Blades drop sword.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I'm glad they brought back the sword to use, because that was probably
Okay,
one
yeah,
of my
that was
favorite
the first
missions.
one. That's what I was trying to remember. And then the next ones is to kill a bunch of specific enemies who are now spawn, even if you don't own the Dark Below, they
Yes.
spawn in the Cosmodrome on Earth. I just thought that was cool. And then, basically through doing that, you unlock the first strike. But let's talk about the other quests first. The other quests are cool in the sense that, what is it? You have to kill...
Oh, the urn?
Yeah,
Yeah, the stuff for the urn.
You have to kill
You have to kill
30 30 thralls.
20 thralls with solar damage from a fusion rifle, which conveniently the fusion rifle they give you at the end of the 3 story missions happens to do solar damage, so that wasn't perfectly set up or anything.
You have to melee kill about
5 cursed thralls, which is actually harder than it looks,
because they blow up.
and death will reset your progress.
And then the last one is you have to kill 100. What are they? What are the main ones called?
Acolytes
and
wizards.
Wizards. And it'll death will only reset
With
your shit.
void damage, right?
I think
Yes.
it's just with void damage, and death will just reset a little bit.
Yeah.
But those were really fun. Like
Honestly,
again,
that took us the longest time to do was
Yeah.
that one.
And then the last one you have to kill. I forget what his name is, but there's a special hive knight who spawns during public events on on the Cosmodrome, and you have to find him and kill him. So and then basically you get some gauntlets, or I think you get gauntlets for that. But that's the stuff. So let's talk about the Strike, because we haven't unlocked the PlayStation Strike yet, which I don't think we're missing too much. Apparently,
It's exactly like the Nexus, apparently, from what I've read.
yeah, from what we've heard, it's the Nexus in the Black Garden. Which, I mean, the Black Garden's a cool locale, and I'm glad that they're trying to use it more. But
Yeah.
I just wish they had a more interesting raid maybe for that. But
But just the regular Strike that everybody has
Is
in itself is
intense.
yes,
You start off fighting a combination of the Hive
and the Fallen.
and the Fallen, and then you go up to the Terrestrial Complex and you have to fight like wave after wave of the Fallen.
Yeah,
And then at the end, you have to fight Omnigul in the Jovian Complex, which was a previously unreachable area. And oh my god, is that the most difficult thing we've done so far?
because
in
you're
this
you're
game?
basically in a no, I'm
a
thinking
box room.
Yeah, you're in a box room. There's 2 levels. There's some walkways, but you really don't want to be up on the walkway because you're very exposed.
And she spawns in like
Everything.
knights,
Knights,
Cursed
acolytes,
thralls,
cursed thralls,
acolytes, ascended or whatever,
hallowed.
hallowed versions of wizards and knights, and it's just like, it's nuts.
It's basically that fight. I mean, the Strike itself probably takes maybe half an hour, 45 minutes.
But that fight takes up
But
like a
that
good 15
fight,
minutes.
yeah, that
of it.
fight itself is a good
15,
10, 15 minutes of just nothing but gunfire.
And then also, something that's unique about Omnigul is that her shields actually recharge, which is something that no other, Strike boss has done yet. You know, it's always you kill them and they just have a health bar, and you never have to worry about
No,
their
there's a
shields.
couple that have done that.
Well, no, their shields don't come back, but they they always have shields.
Yeah.
But now she has shields that you actually have to deplete, which is interesting. We have not gotten around to doing the raid yet, but by all accounts,
It's just as intense as the Vault of Glass,
as
by
Vault
all
of Glass.
accounts.
So, I think it's just going to be great. And so, last thing, they added a bunch of stuff, which is kind of I guess everybody got, but it's in the game. And I think the biggest change that they made is that you can now purchase upgrading materials, which is so smart.
Yeah, just the minor changes they made just made this game so much better with the fact that they've actually addressed these issues.
Like, it makes this game less grindy. Like, that was the biggest thing, was that I didn't want to have to run around and do that. Now, I mean, I still have to run around and collect Ascendant materials, but, I mean, at least, I don't have to run around and just pick up spin metal or helium filaments or spirit, I can go through naming all of them. I don't have to run around picking those up for hours on end. I can just purchase them using my Vanguard marks. And so, yeah, that's basically the single-player aspect. So now, let's talk multiplayer, the 3 maps they added.
The 3 maps they added are almost flawless.
Yeah, there's...
They're very good.
There's Skyshock, which is based on the Cosmodrome, and basically the concept of that map is splitting up vehicle play and infantry play, with what I heard. Basically there's...
It's kind of like, what was it, Bastion on Mars?
Well, but except there's more of like... There's the open areas where the vehicles can definitely get, and then there's the closed-in areas where vehicles can't get. Like certain pathways. Like the map's kind of divided in half like that. And that's actually really, really, really smart, I think. And it kind of looks like the Skyhold, or no, what's it called? Skywatch, which is the area where the loot cave was, and where the public event where you have to kill the one special enemy is for a quest is at. And so that's just really cool. And then there's Pantheon, which is based in the Black Garden, which is probably visually my favorite.
Yeah, it's visually probably the prettiest map that I've seen in Destiny, including the ones that were already there. Like the Shores of Time was honestly one of my favorite maps to play on, just because it was so pretty to look at.
Like the locale of looking out over the ridge and seeing the Black Garden when you first go in the story. Yeah, that's in the background of the multiplayer map.
Yeah,
And so the other really cool thing is the map is the only symmetrical map that they've really made in Destiny. Like the map is very symmetrical and it's set up very, very nicely. I mean, it kind of reminds me of, again, not to bring them back to their old stuff, but kind of reminds me of old Halo stuff. The map.
honestly, some of the just the missions they added made me kind of hark back to Halo.
Yeah, and then the last map they added is the Cauldron, which is based in on the moon, and it's kind of like one of the Hive's areas of the moon, and it's
That they've hollowed out.
they've hollowed out.
And it's dark, and it just
what was the Halo map that reminded you of? What was that? Midship.
midship. Yeah,
Midship.
It
It's
felt
kind
a
of
lot
like
like
that.
midship.
It's kind of centered around a central area, and there's all kinds of branch off rooms and stuff like that. But it's nice, tight, controlled fun, and I mean, like, these are all very, very solid maps. Now let's get into the what I feel like is the main issue of this, which is the price.
Yeah,
This content, yes, there is more content than I thought there would be, and it's better than I thought it would be. It's just that, I don't know. It's still not worth $20.
no, I could see 15.
15. I still would only like to pay 10.
Yeah, honestly, this
Pay
was
10.
this was a $10 DLC.
But I could understand 15. I mean, the content is there.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, if you want to play Destiny, if Destiny is a game you really, really want to play, you kind of have to get this. This changes Destiny greatly. It's just an awesome experience, I think. There's nothing, compared to these new missions and these new maps. It's really good. This is the best that Destiny's been
Yeah.
the whole time, I
And
think.
they also added a bunch of other little things that everybody got, not just those that got the Dark Below.
There's
new,
a couple weapons that
new
everybody
weapons
got.
that they added in, new exotics, new legendaries. The vendors, like the Vanguard and the Vanguard Quartermaster, they have new gear for sale that's Dark Below inspired. The Tumbler.
Tumbler.
which
Well,
is
no,
a new
the
Sparrow.
Tumbler is not for everybody.
Not for everybody, but it was like a little something extra. Like, hey, you already kind of committed to this, so we're going to give you the Tumbler, which is a modified Sparrow
Yeah,
that will
it does
let you do
backflips.
flips and barrel rolls and
And yeah, I just think they made the Hive cool. The Hive was always just an inconvenience to me.
yes,
Now the Hive is like one of my favorite enemies, just because the wave after wave, especially with the strike.
like the
It's-
end of the strike. Maybe it kind of reminded me of the library in
Yeah.
Combat Evolved.
There's just
It
a
was
lot
just
of enemies.
intense close quarters combat, and it was hard to see like it was in the library.
Yeah.
The Hive almost reminded me of the Flood.
In a way, yeah. But that's one of the jokes I hear about the game is, the Fallen is the Covenant, these guys are the Hive, the Vex are the precursor, or the Prometheans, and then
Yeah.
the Cabal are the Brutes, and like it's like it's Bungie being Bungie. But
Yeah.
that's getting a little off topic. I mean, we've talked about everything in the DLC. Let's give our rating of the DLC, and then we have, maybe with a little bit of time, let's talk about one or two other things I want to talk about. What would you
Okay.
give this DLC? Honestly, it is. And a score out of 10.
With all of the little improvements that it brought to the world of Destiny, that really should have been there in the first place. I'm going to give this a 7.9 out of 10. The story missions really aren't significantly meaty. I mean, Frank and I tore through them in maybe half an hour, but we were also kind of just like speed running through them. But the main problem is the $20 price tag. It's just not worth $20 for 3 multiplayer maps, 3 missions, a couple strikes, and a raid.
Yeah, I'd agree. I give it an 8 out of 10. I think that I would have given this a lot lower score, but I think this is the thing that Destiny needs, and I feel like if you want to play Destiny in any kind of capacity, even though it's not worth the price point, you need to get this. And so my recommendation would be get the Seasons Pass, just because you'll save money.
Yeah.
And I mean, as long as the House of Wolves is anything kind of somewhat like this, then maybe
or even if
together
it could
they might be worth $35 combined, maybe.
Yeah.
That's speculation for the future, but yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
But let's do a brief discussion of Destiny post-launch.
Okay.
Like all the things they changed.
Yeah.
You know, they fixed a lot of things. Bungie has shown a willingness to listen to the community.
Mm-hmm. And like I've said before to these guys, at least I don't know if I've said it in any videos, but I really do believe it wasn't Bungie that made all of the changes that kind of screwed up Destiny. It was Activision itself being a shitty publisher, as we have seen from the Call of Duty games.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, you know, Call of Duty, for 5 multiplayer maps, you pay $15.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you get a lot more stuff in terms of like a couple of story missions. $20. And it's like, I could see that. But then, and a lot of the other things I could see. I just think that, like, fixing the engram system was a major help.
That definitely helped, yeah.
Fixing, you know, the resource system. The other thing is, I think that once you kind of understand that, you know, you with the drops, you're not really going to get your best stuff from drops. You're going to get some stuff. You're going to get most of your stuff from buying it.
Unlike Diablo, where you don't really have to buy gear because it'll drop for you, you almost kind of have to buy gear in Destiny. Like, you actually have to spend your glimmer on something.
Yeah, so it's just, I think, again, this is why I still want to play this game. Bungie has given me hope that they can still do right by the community with this game and with this franchise in general in the future. So, and you know, like I said, that's my opinion.
And with these changes that they've made post launch, it really does give me hope that the next iteration in the Destiny franchise, which they've already said is coming at some point, could be a lot less of a disappointment than this was.
Yes. Alright, so that was our review of The Dark Below for Destiny, and also a brief talk about Destiny post-launch. Let us know your opinions of The Dark Below, whether or not you think the $20 price point is worth it, or if you think it's shitty, what your just entire opinion of Destiny since its launch in general has been, you know. Let us know in the comment section, you know, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and, yep, thanks for watching.
See ya.